Hi, I'm Chip Rohn with the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel, and you're watching In the Know. This episode is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be talking about breaking bread and Avenge Hunger Month. Breaking Bread is an initiative that Armstrong started 12 years ago. And through this initiative, we collect resources for community feeding programs. This can be food, which can be brought into our lobby and placed in the cart, or it can be monetary donations, which you can give to one of our customer service representatives. Through Breaking Bread, we actually provide food to over 200 community feeding programs throughout all of Armstrong's service area. If you want to find out more about Breaking Bread, you can visit armstrongonewire.com/breakingbread. We have Avenge Hunger Month in the month of September because it's Hunger Action Month. And we're going to learn more about Hunger Action Month by talking to Jennifer Miller, who's the CEO for the Westmoreland County Food Bank. We are here at the Westmoreland Food Bank, and with me is Jennifer Miller. And Jennifer is the CEO for the Westmoreland Food Bank. So good to be here with you, Jennifer.
Thank you for being here. We really appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, you folks do a lot of good work here. We're going to talk a little bit about Hunger Action Month, and that's the month of September. And I know that there's an increased need in the fall and winter. You want to talk a little bit about that, please?
Sure. And anytime during the holidays, we do see a little bit more people than we normally are used to. On a monthly basis, we're serving anywhere between 6,000 and 7,000 families every month. And usually around the holidays, that goes up a good bit. Yeah. So we want to be able to be here for our consumers and for our neighbors. And, Hunger Action Month isn't just a time to celebrate. It's a time to commemorate. It's a time to put things to action. Right. And that is what we do during September, is really try to make people aware that there is hunger in our community.
Fall is traditionally a time for harvest, so that kind of goes together. Absolutely. Too, because when you bring things in for the winter, so to store up. Yes. So those two things go together?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. We do see a lot of produce coming in the doors from our local farmers and, from larger places too that do produce, and we see all of that, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. Now you're a food bank, so
yes.
If you don't mind talking about the difference between a food bank and a food pantry, please.
What I always say is the food banks are like the bank. That's where the money is held. That's where the food is held. Okay. And our food pantries are like ATMs, and that's where people go to make a withdrawal.
That's a great way to look at that.
It really is. And I don't know, one day I woke up and it came to me that way, but yeah. It really is a great analogy to let people understand what the difference is between a food bank and a food pantry.
Yeah. Now, how many food pantries do you support through this food bank?
We have over 40 food pantries in our network, okay. But we have agencies like on-site feeding organizations, soup kitchens, drop-in centers that receive food from us as well.
Yeah. Things that you're in need of right now, what are some of your bigger needs?
Protein items are always a big need. So peanut butter, canned meats, cereals are so expensive, as you can all imagine. Right. It's even more expensive for us because we're buying in truckload quantities. So, things like that. If you're paying a lot for it in the grocery store, we're paying a lot for it too. So anything, protein items are always very, very well received.
Now, I've heard, like, if I would go to the store and buy an item to bring, yes. Say I bought a box of cereal when I brought it here, but if I would give you that money that I spent on that cereal, you can make that go a lot further, can't you?
We can, and it's because of our buying power. We buy at wholesale prices or better. So for every $1 donated, we're really able to buy approximately about $10 worth of food. So that's where the buying power comes from. So anybody can donate whatever they like, whether they want to donate food or whether they want to donate money. It's all appreciated, but we can make your dollar go further.
Okay. How about a need for volunteers? Do you have a need right now?
We always have a need for volunteers. As you can possibly imagine, volunteers are aging, and we love our volunteers, and they do a wonderful job. But it comes to a point when they can't do it anymore. Right. And we're seeing more of that now more than ever. So we really need volunteers with good backs, and able to lift and able to move around easily. And we still need people that are able to do paperwork and you come into the office and help with data entry. Whatever they want to do, we can find a need. We can find an area for them.
Yes. Now, if someone wanted to volunteer, how would they contact you?
They would contact the food bank and ask for Gina. She's our volunteer coordinator, and she can get you set up.
Okay, a phone number they could call?
724-468-8660.
Okay, great. Now, you mentioned about volunteers and getting older. I imagine COVID had a big impact on that, too, for people not able to come out.
Yes, COVID had a huge impact. During the height of the pandemic in 2020, which seems like it was so long ago, but then again, it seems like it was just yesterday. Yeah. We had a lot of people that weren't able to come out and volunteer. So it changed the way we do things. We had to go to boxed method instead of, sending it out in cases and letting people pick up like cafeteria style. Everything had to be pre-boxed, but we're now back to the cafeteria style part. But COVID really affected us because, like I said, we did about between 6 and 7,000 households every single month. We were closer to 9,500 to 10,000 for a few months there, and it has since come down. But the faces that we're seeing are totally different. There are people that are the working poor. There are people who have never had to ask for help, never had to stand in a food line, and it's very, very sad. People with special diets were affected because they would go to Walmart or Aldi's, and all of that was gone because people were just taking what they could get. And so those gluten-free diets and things like that were highly affected. And thanks to people who gave gift cards, we were able to give people gift cards so that they could go to like a Giant Eagle or a Whole Foods and get that type of item that they need for their family or their loved one. So yeah, it really made a huge difference.
Yeah, and I would imagine that the need is still has increased, right?
The need still has increased. Like I said, it's people we have never seen before, people
Yeah.
who have found themselves without a job, people who have found themselves not able to go to work physically because of the after effects of COVID, because of their jobs not being there for after COVID. And we know there's a lot of jobs out there, but when you have a family, unfortunately, you do have to make sure you're making enough to feed your family. So it makes people have to make some really tough decisions.
And the cost of groceries right now is really
Oh my
high too.
gosh.
So people can't buy as much with their dollar, which is
No.
causing a problem.
I was in the grocery store line, and there was a woman in front of me with three little kids in her buggy, and she had two more kids plus her husband, and her order came to $250, and they said hit accept on the ATM, and she said, "What if I don't accept it?"
Yeah.
Like, she was just in awe. She said, "This will last me a week," and she wasn't buying, with benefits or anything like that. She was buying from her bank account, and it was heart wrenching to see that look on her face, because you could tell that it was just anguish, that she knew that that $250 worth of groceries was not going to last her a week.
Yeah.
So it's very hard.
Yeah, that's sad. So people have to come here because they aren't able to afford what they're buying.
Exactly. And they're
Yeah.
still income eligible.
Yeah.
The majority of the people that we're serving are the working poor.
Right.
And they're people who are not making a living wage in their earned income. And they're still able to ask for help from us. And we are glad to be here for them.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here for them, and thank you for the work that you do and all your employees and all your volunteers.
And thank you for what you guys do with Avenging Hunger. I mean, that's really phenomenal that
Yeah.
that one corporation will join together behind a cause. And we truly appreciate all of the viewer support and all of the associate support and the company support, of course.
Yeah, we're very welcome. We appreciate our employees and our customers are the ones that actually provide that. So
Yes.
we thank them for their donations and
Yes,
encourage you to give.
Yes.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
If you would like to help supply your local community feeding program, you can drop off your donations of non-perishable food or monetary donations at your local Armstrong store. Avenge Hunger Month continues through October 2nd. To find out more about Breaking Bread and Avenge Hunger Month, you can visit armstrongonewire.com/breakingbread. Now you're in the know.